She paid for a stranger's gas without knowing who he was. The next morning, dozens of Hell's Angel bikers stood at her door. The rain came down hard that night, slapping the cracked pavement of the gas station like it was angry at the world. Most people had already gone home. Neon lights buzz overhead, flickering just enough to make everything feel uneasy. The convenience store windows reflected empty pumps and wet asphalt. Lonely, quiet, forgotten. Ava Thompson pulled her old sedan up to pump number 4 and turned off the engine. She sat there for a moment, hands still on the steering wheel, breathing slowly. It had been a long day. She worked 2 jobs, one at a nursing home during the day, another cleaning offices at night. Every dollar mattered. Every gallon of gas was calculated. Every week was survival. She glanced at her dashboard. $1.12 left. That was supposed to last her until Friday. Ava stepped out into the rain. Hoodie pulled tight around her face and slid her card into the pump. The screen blinked, declined. She sighed, rubbed her forehead, and tried again, declined. Her shoulders dropped. Of course, she muttered to herself. Behind her, an engine roared. Not a car, a motorcycle, the big one. The sound rolled to the empty station like thunder. Ava turned slowly. The bike pulled up to the far pump, black, massive, chrome glinting under the lights. The rider swung his leg over and stood up. He was huge, leather jacket soaked from the rain, thick beard streaked with gray, heavy boots planted like he owned the ground beneath him. The patch on his jacket caught the light. Ava froze. She didn't need to read it to know. Everyone knew that symbol. Hell's Angel. Her heart skipped. She looked away quickly, suddenly very aware of how alone she was. Just her, him, and the rain. She reached into her pocket and pulled out a few crumpled bills. Counted them $10. That was it. She walked inside, paid cash, and came back out. The pump clicked on, slow and painful. As she stood there, she heard a low voice behind her. "Pump's not working for me." She turned. The biker was standing a few feet away, helmet tucked under his arm. His eyes were sharp but tired. Not angry, not threatening, just worn. "I tried my card twice," he continued. "Machines acting up." Ava swallowed. I don't know," she said quietly. "Mine work with cash." He nodded once, reached into his pocket, pulled out a wallet, then stopped. He looked inside, flipped it closed. For just a second, something crossed his face, frustration, embarrassment. "I'm short," he said, voice low. "Long ride. Thought I had enough." Ava glanced at the pump. His bike was bone dry. She looked at her own, barely moving, $10. That was supposed to get her through the week. She thought of her mom's voice years ago. "Kindness always comes back, Ava. Maybe not how you expect, but it does." She hesitated. Then she walked over to the pump, hit the button, and stopped her own fill. The numbers froze. She turned to him. "You can use the rest," she said. The biker blinked. "What?" "I'm done," she lied. There's still some credit on it." He stared at her, really looked at her, rain dripping from his beard, neon lights reflecting in his eyes. "You sure?" he asked. "I don't want trouble." She shrugged, forcing a small smile. "It's just gas." For a long moment he didn't move. Then he nodded once. "Thank you." No big speech. No dramatic moment. Just 2 words that he filled his tank, careful not to look at the numbers. When it clicked off, he stepped back. He reached into his jacket and pulled out a folded piece of paper, scribbled something, walked over and gently placed it on her windshield. "For the gas," he said, "in case we meet again." She shook her head. "You don't have to." But he was already turning away. He mounted his bike, engine roaring to life. Before leaving, he looked back one last time. "You didn't have to do that," he said. Ava met his eyes. "I know." Then he was gone, taillight disappearing into the rain. Ava stood there, heart still pounding. She picked up the paper. IT wasn't moneyed. IT was a receipt, and written on the back, in heavy ink, "Angel never forgets a kindness." She frowned, unsure what it meant, and drove home. That night, she slept like normal. She had no idea that by morning, her life would never be the same. Backhand index pointing right if the story already gave you chills. Subscribe to Bikershype right now. Thumbs up like this video and share with your friends. Real biker stories deserve real support. Red Heart, and if you love Hell's Angels stories, share this video and help us complete our 1,000 subscribers target. Fire now, prove your love. The knock. The knock came at 6:17 a.m. Not loud. Not violent. Just firm, deliberate, final. Ava was halfway through tying her hair when she heard it. She froze, one shoe on, one shoe off, heart instantly racing. And no one knocks like that anymore, she thought. Not neighbors. Not delivery people. She glanced at the clock again, 6:17. Too early for visitors. Too early for anything good. The knock came again, 3 times. Slow. Heavy. Patient. Ava swallowed and walked toward the door, every step cautious. She didn't look through the peephole at first. She pressed her ear lightly against the door, listening. Engines. Not one to not two to many, low. Rumbling engines idling outside her small house like distant thunder. Her breath caught. She stepped back, heart pounding so hard she could feel it in her throat. Her mind raced. Did I do something wrong? Did someone follow me home? Is this about the gas station? The knock came a 3rd time. Slightly louder now. Ava Thompson. A deep voice called from outside. Calm. Controlled. Her name. Her hands trembled. She reached for the lock, hesitated, then unlocked the door and opened it just enough to see. And her world stopped. The street was full. Motorcycles lined the curve from one end of the block to the other. Dozens of them. Chrome, black steel. Engines idling in perfect unison. Men stood beside their bikes. Big men. Leather jackets. Boots. Patches. Hell's Angels. AT the front stood the same biker from the gas station. Dry now. Cleaned up. Jacket brushed. Hair tied back, he removed his sunglasses as he saw her. Morning, ma'am, he said respectfully. Ava couldn't speak. Her knees felt weak. Her mind screamed run, but there was nowhere to go. The biker turned slightly and raised his hand. Every engine shut off at once. The silence was deafening. This is her, he said to the group behind him. This is the woman I told you about. Dozens of eyes turned to Ava. Not angry, not threatening. Curious, serious, respectful. She finally found her voice. I don't understand, she whispered. The biker nodded. That's fair. He stepped back and gestured toward another man. Older, scars across his face, silver hair pulled tight. This is Marcus, he said, chapter president. Marcus stepped forward slowly. He didn't smile. His eyes were sharp, reading her like a book. You helped one of ours last night, Marcus said. No cameras. No audience. No reason to. Ava hugged her hoodie tighter. It was just gas, she said again. Marcus studied her. No, he replied quietly. It wasn't. He reached into his jacket and pulled out a folded envelope. Thick, inside this envelope, he continued, is enough money to cover your gas for a long time. Ava's eyes widened. I can't accept that, she said quickly. I didn't do it for money. Marcus nodded. We figured you'd say that. He handed the envelope to the biker from the gas station. Plan B? Marcus said. The biker stepped forward and held out something else at a small metal angel pin, heavy and worn. This, he said, belonged to my mother. She gave it to me before she passed. She used to say angels don't always have wings. Sometimes they have tired eyes and empty wallets. Ava stared at the pin. You don't have to, I know, he interrupted gently. But we want to. He clipped the pin carefully to her hoodie. For respect, he said. For kindness. For reminding one of ours who he still is. Marcus stepped forward again. We don't forget kindness, he said. And we don't forget people who help without asking who we are first. Ava felt tears sting her eyes. She looked at the line of bikers. At their faces. Their scars. Their stillness. You came all this way just to say thank you? She asked softly. Marcus smiled, just barely. No, he said. We came to make sure you're never alone again. Ava's breath caught. What did that mean? Marcus turned and pointed down the street. Across the road, a broken-down house sat abandoned. Windows boarded up. Overgrown lawn. That house? Marcus said. Used to belong to a friend of ours. It's empty now. The biker beside him continued. We're fixing it up, he said. New roof. New locks. Security. Lights. Ava shook her head. I don't understand. Marcus met her eyes. You live in a neighborhood people forget, he said. That makes you vulnerable. He paused. That changes today. Ava covered her mouth. You're protecting me? Marcus nodded once. Protection is earned, he said. Last night you earned it. Ava couldn't hold it anymore. Tears rolled down her cheeks as the wave of it all crashed over her, not fear, but something else. Relief. For the first time in years, she didn't feel invisible. The biker from the gas station smiled softly. Name's Reed, he said. If you ever need anything at all, you call. He handed her a card and a logo, just a phone number. And Ava, he added, lowering his voice. You changed more than you know last night. She nodded, unable to speak. Marcus raised his hand again. Every biker mounted their bikes in perfect sync. Engines roared back to life. Before leaving, Marcus looked at her one last time. Kindness travels fast on the road, he said. Be careful who you help. Then he smiled. Sometimes they show up. And just like that, they were gone. The street fell silent. Ava stood in her doorway, angel pin catching the morning light, heart racing. She looked down at the card in her hand and realized that receipt from last night was only the beginning. Back in Index Point right, subscribe to Bikershype for real stories that hit the soul. Thumbs up, like, and share this video with your friends. Kindness deserves to be seen. Red Heart, if you love Hell's Angel stories, share this video and help us reach our 1,000 subscribers goal. Fire now, prove your love. The watchful road. Ava didn't tell anyone what happened that morning. Not her co-workers. Not her neighbors. Not even her sister. How you explain dozens of bikers showing up at your door, not to threaten you, but to thank you? How you put into words a feeling of being seen after years of being overlooked? So she kept it to herself, but the road around her house didn't forget. That same afternoon, Ava stepped outside to head to work. The sun was out now, drying the rain from the street, but something felt different. Quiet. Too quiet. She walked to her car and noticed it immediately. Across the street where the abandoned house stood, a truck was parked. 2 men were unloading wood planks. Another was measuring the porch. Leather jackets, no patches this time. Just work gloves and tools. They nodded to her respectfully as she passed. Morning, ma'am. Her heart skipped. She nodded back, unsure what to say as she drove off. She checked her mirrors. At the corner, a black motorcycle sat parked. The rider didn't follow her, just watched, visor down. Engine off, the chill ran through her. They weren't lying, she realized. They're serious at the nursing home. Ava tried to focus on her work, helping residents eat, adjusting blankets, listening to stories she'd heard 100 times. But her mind kept drifting. T.O. Reed, to Marcus, to that angel pin now tucked safely in her pocket. During her break, she stepped outside and checked her phone. No messages. Just a card Reed had given her, sitting in her purse. She told herself not to call. Don't make a big deal out of it. That's when she noticed something else at a woman across the street. One of the staff was arguing with a man. Loud, aggressive, too close. Ava tensed. She watched as a man grabbed the woman's arm. Before Ava could react, a motorcycle engine roared. From nowhere, a bike rolled up beside them. Then another. And another. 3 bikers dismounted calmly. No shouting. No threats. One of them spoke quietly to the man. The man's face drained of color. He released the woman immediately. Backed away, hands raised. The bikers didn't touch him. They just stood there. The man left. Fast. The bikers checked on the woman, nodded once, and rode off. Ava stood frozen. This isn't coincidence, she thought. That night, driving home, she felt again. Every turn she took, there was distance behind her, but never emptiness, a bike far back. Sometimes, too, that never close enough to scare her. Always close enough to be there. The changes came quickly after that. The abandoned house was transformed within days. New windows. Fresh paint. Lights that turn on automatically at night. Neighbors noticed. Someone finally bought that place. Mrs. Collins from next door said, "About time." Ava smiled politely and said nothing. Then came the grocery bags. One evening, Ava opened her door to find 3 bags sitting neatly on her porch. Fresh produce, bread, milk, and no note. Just a small angel sticker on one bag. Her throat tightened. The next week, her car wouldn't start. She stood in her driveway, late for work, panic rising. Before she could even pull out her phone, a pickup truck rolled up. Reed stepped out. "Battery," he said, glancing at her hood. Cold nights. He popped the hood, worked silently, and had her car running in minutes. "You didn't have to come," she said. Reed shrugged. "You didn't have to buy gas." She laughed despite herself. Then her smile faded. "Why me?" she asked. "You guys, you help a lot of people?" Reed closed the hood and leaned against the car. "We help those who help without asking," he said. "Most people see the patch first." Ava nodded slowly. "I was scared," she admitted. "At the station." Reed met her eyes. "But you helped anyway." He straightened up. "Fear doesn't cancel kindness," he said. "It proves it." Not everyone was happy. Word spread. Some neighbors whispered. Some avoided her. One night, a man from down the block, Darren, always drunk, always loud, cornered her near her mailbox. "You think you're special now?" he sneered. "Got biker friends watching your house?" Ava's heart raced. "I don't want trouble," she said quietly. Darren stepped closer. "People like you don't get protection," he spat. Before Ava could respond, a shadow fell over Darren. Then another. Then another. Darren turned pale. Point. 3 bikers stood behind him. Silent. Massive. Reed was one of them. "No one's looking for trouble," Reed said calmly. "But you're standing too close." Darren backed away, hands shaking. I was just talking." Reed nodded. "Conversation's over." Darren left without another word. Reed turned to Ava. "You okay?" She nodded, tears in her eyes. "I don't want anyone hurt because of me." Reed softened. "No one's hurt," he said. "Just reminded." That night, Ava sat on her couch, staring at the angel pin in her hand. Her phone buzzed. A known number. She answered cautiously. "Ava," Marcus's voice said. "Just checking in." "I don't know how to thank you," she said honestly. Marcus chuckled. "You already did." He paused. "Road teaches us things," he continued. "Sometimes it takes a stranger at a gas station to remind us who we ride for." Ava swallowed. "I'm still scared sometimes." Marcus's voice was steady. "Courage isn't the absence of fear," he said. "It's what you do while it's there." The call ended. Ava leaned back, heart full and heavy at the same time. She looked out her window. Down the street, a motorcycle idled briefly, then shut off. Someone was watching. And for the first time in her life, that didn't feel like danger. IT felt like home. Backend index point right, subscribe to Bikershype for powerful biker stories that hit deep. Thumbs up, like, and share this video with your friends. Kindness on the road matters. Red heart, if you love Hell's Angels stories, share this video and help us reach our 1,000 subscribers target. Fire now, prove your love. The warning. The first rail warning came on a Tuesday night that IT was late, almost midnight, when Ava locked the door behind her and leaned against it, exhausted. Her cleaning shift downtown had run long, and her feet ached with every step she took across the living room. She kicked off her shoes, dropped her keys into the bowl by the door, and let out a long breath. That's when she felt it, that wrong feeling. Not fear exactly, pressure. Like the air itself had changed. Ava walked to the window and pulled the curtain back just a few inches. Across the street, the renovated house sat quietly, lights glowing soft and steady. Nothing unusual. Then she noticed something else at the far end of the block. Where the street light flickered, a car sat parked with its engine off. She didn't recognize it. Dark sedan. Windows tinted. No movement inside. She watched for a full minute. "Nothing to your imagining things," she told herself. Still, she locked the bedroom door that night. And the bathroom. And checked the windows twice before crawling into bed. Sleep didn't come easy. The next morning, Ava found a note at IT was slipped halfway under her front door. Folded once. No envelope. Her stomach dropped the moment she saw it. She picked it up slowly, as if it might bite her. Inside, written in messy black ink, were just 5 words. "Protection comes with a price." Ava's hands trembled. She read it again, and again, her chest tightened. This wasn't from Reed, or Marcus, or anyone she'd met. This felt different, cold. She checked outside. The street was empty. Quiet. Too quiet. She locked the door and sat at the kitchen table, staring at the note. After 10 minutes of arguing with herself, she pulled out the card Reed had given her and dialed a number. IT rang once, twice. Ava, Reed answered immediately. No surprise in his voice. What's wrong? She swallowed hard. I found a note. Silence on the other end. What does it say? He asked. She read it. Another pause, longer this time. Don't touch anything else, Reed said calmly. Don't throw it away. I'm coming. 20 minutes later, a motorcycle rolled quietly up her driveway. Reed didn't knock. He stood on the porch and waited until she opened the door. One look at his face told her everything. This wasn't something small. He took the note, studied it, then folded it carefully. Anyone else see this? He asked. No, he nodded. Good. What does it mean? Ava asked. Did I do something wrong? Reed met her eyes. No, he said firmly. You did something right. He stepped inside, closing the door behind him. There are people who don't like it when kindness shifts power, he continued, especially when it crosses lines they think shouldn't be crossed. Ava's voice shook. Are they dangerous? Reed didn't answer right away. That depends, he said finally, on how scared they are. By noon, the street was different, very different. Motorcycles rolled in, one by one, not loud, not dramatic. Just present, they parked legally. Calmly. Some men worked on a house across the street. Others stood on corners pretending to check their phones. One sat on a porch drinking coffee like he'd lived there for years. Neighbors noticed. Whispers spread. Ava stayed inside, watching from the window. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She answered. Ava. Marcus's voice said, You okay? I got a note, she said. I know. Her heart skipped. You already know? We saw the car, Marcus replied. Dark sedan. 2 men. Not from around here. Ava felt cold. What do they want? Marcus sighed. They want to see if we're serious, he said. And if you'll get scared enough to step away. Ava hugged her arms around herself. I don't want anyone hurt, she whispered again. To Marcus's tone softened. No one will be, he said. But we don't walk away from threats. That afternoon, Reed returned with another man. Taller, younger, eyes sharp. This is Caleb, Reed said. He's staying across the street for a while. Caleb nodded politely. Ma'am. Ava hesitated. How long is a while? She asked. Reed smiled slightly. As long as it takes. That night, the sedan came back. Ava saw it from her bedroom window. Same car, same spot. Her heart pounded. She reached for her phone. Before she could dial, the headlights of the sedan suddenly flashed. Once, twice. Then the engine started, but it didn't leave. Instead, the car rolled forward slowly and stopped directly in front of her house. Ava's breath caught. A door opened. A man stepped out. Then another. They stood there looking up at her house, watching Ava's phone buzz in her hand. Incoming call. Reed, don't move, he said quietly. Just stay where you are. Before Ava could respond, motorcycle engines roared to life from every direction. Lights flooded the street. Bikes rolled in, surrounding the sedan, not fast, not aggressive. Just enough to make a point. The men froze. One of them raised his hand slowly. Marcus stepped forward from the shadows. He didn't shout, but he didn't threaten. He spoke calmly. You leave, he said. And you don't come back. One of the men tried to speak. Marcus raised a finger. You don't talk, he said. You listen. The men nodded quickly, got back into the car and drove away, tires squealing as they turned the corner. The bikes didn't follow. They didn't need to. The message had been delivered. Ava sank onto her bed, shaking. Her phone buzzed again. Reed, it's over, he said. For now. Ava stared at the ceiling. For now? She echoed. Reed's voice was steady. Road's not done testing you yet, he said. But you're not walking it alone. The call ended. Outside, the engines shut off one by one. A silence returned. Ava closed her eyes, tears slipping down her temples. She had helped a stranger with gas, and now she stood in the middle of something far bigger than herself. Something powerful. Something dangerous. Something that demanded courage. Backhand Index Point right subscribe to Bikershype for real biker stories with real consequences. Thumbs up, like, and share this video with your friends. This road deserves respect. Red heart if you love Hell's Angel stories. Share this video and help us reach the 1,000 subscribers target. Fire now, prove your love. Why her? The next morning didn't feel like morning. IT felt like the quiet after storm. Too still, too clean, like the world was holding its breath. Ava sat at her kitchen table, hands wrapped around a mug she hadn't touched. The note lay beside it, weighed down by her phone, so it wouldn't curl. Protection comes with a price. She'd replayed the night over and over. The sedan, the men, the way the bikers had appeared from the shadows like the street itself had called them. Why me? The question refused to leave her. That a knock came at the door. Soft this time, 0.2 knocks. Respectful. Ava stood slowly and opened it. Marcus stood on her porch alone, the NO bike. No jacket, just jeans, boots, and a calm that felt heavier than any leather. Mind if I come in? He asked. She nodded and stepped aside. Marcus took in the small living room, the worn couch, the second-hand bookshelf. He noticed everything, but judged nothing. You're wondering why, he said, sitting across from her at the table. Ava exhaled. Yes. Marcus folded his hands. Let me tell you a story, he said. 22 years ago, Marcus began, I was riding through a town not unlike this one. Late night, cold, low on fuel. Ava listened, eyes fixed on him. I stopped at a gas station. Card declined. Cash gone. I was younger then, proud, angry, thought the world owed me something. He paused. A woman came out of the store. Older, working 2 jobs. Same look you had. Ava's chest tightened. She paid for my gas, Marcus continued. Didn't ask my name. Didn't ask about my patch. Just said, you look like you need help. He met Ava's eyes. That woman was my sister. Ava covered her mouth. She was killed 3 weeks later, Marcus said quietly. Wrong place. Wrong time. No protection. No one watching her back. The room felt smaller. I spent years asking myself what would have happened if someone had been there for her, Marcus continued. If kindness had come back faster. He leaned forward. When Reed told us about you, about the way you stopped your own pump without knowing who he was, it felt like the road speaking. Ava's voice shook. So this is repayment? Marcus shook his head. No, he said. This is responsibility. He slid something across the table to a photo. Ava picked it up. IT was her, standing at the pump, rain-soaked, reaching to stop the gas. Taken from across the street, she stiffened. That picture isn't from us, Marcus said. It's from the people who left the note. Her stomach dropped. They watch moments, he continued. Moments of weakness. Moments of compassion. They believe kindness makes people controllable. Ava's hands trembled. What do they want from me? Marcus's jaw tightened. They want to see if you'll fold, he said. If you'll ask us to leave. If you'll choose fear. Ava swallowed hard. And if I don't? Marcus's eyes softened. Then they'll realize they picked the wrong woman. That afternoon, Ava went to work anyway. She refused to hide a tea to the nursing home. Residents smiled as usual. One woman squeezed Ava's hand. You're glowing today, she said. Ava almost laughed at the irony. When her shift ended, Reed was waiting outside, leaning against his bike, helmet dangling from one hand. You didn't have it come, Ava said. Reed shrugged. You didn't have to be brave. They walked to her car together. Do you regret it? Reed asked quietly. The gas. Ava thought about the note, the fear, the engines in the night. Then she thought about the groceries, the protection, the feeling of not being invisible. No, she said firmly. I'd do it again. Reed smiled. That's why they're nervous. That night, Ava made a decision. She pulled the angel pin from her drawer and clipped it to her jacket, visible this time. When she stepped outside, she didn't look for the bikes. She didn't need to. Down the street, a motorcycle engine started, not loud, just present. Watching. Ava locked her door, stood tall, and breathed in the cool air. The road had chosen her not because she was weak, but because she was kind when it cost her something. And the people who had written that note, they were about to learn something important. Kindness doesn't come at a price. That IT comes with backup. Backhand Index Point writes subscribe to Bikershype for stories where kindness meets power. Thumbs up, like, and share this video with your friends. This message matters. Red Heart, if you love Hell's Angels stories, share this video and help us complete our 1,000 subscribers target. Fire now, prove your love. The price, the confrontation didn't come with sirens. IT came with silence. Ava noticed it first on a Friday evening. The street felt empty in a way it hadn't since the bikers arrived. No engines idling. No shadows on corners. No quiet nods from men pretending to scroll phones. Too clean. Too intentional. She stood at her front window, angel pin catching the last light of day, and felt the familiar pressure return, stronger now. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She answered. Ava Thompson. A man's voice said. Smooth. Polite. Dangerous. Yes? We need to talk, he said. In person. Her heartbeat slowed, not from calm, but from resolve. About what? She asked. About the people watching your house, he replied. And what it's costing you. Ava glanced outside. Still empty. I'm listening, she said. Good, the man replied. Because we don't want trouble. We want balance. He paused. There's a cafe on 9th. 10 minutes. Come alone. The call ended. Ava stood there for a long moment. Phone still pressed her ear. Then she picked up a card Reed had given her and dialed. Reed didn't try to stop her. Neither did Marcus. They met her at the edge of block. No bikes, no patches. Your choice. Marcus said evenly. But understand this. Whatever happens, you don't owe us anything. Ava nodded. That's exactly why I'm going, she said. Reed, search her face. You're sure? She clipped the angel pin tighter. I didn't start this, she said, but I won't hide from it. Marcus exhaled slowly. We'll be close, he said, but not visible. Ava smiled faintly. Figures. The cafe was nearly empty. Soft music. Warm lights. Normal people sipping coffee, unaware how fragile peace could be. The man was already there to mid-40s. Clean cut. Expensive jacket. Calm smiled. He stood as she approached. Ava, he said, extending a hand. I'm Elliot. She didn't shake it. What do you want? She asked. Elliot gestured to the chair. Please. She's Saturday. Elliot folded his hands. You helped someone at a gas station, he began. That act triggered a reaction. I know, Ava replied. I didn't ask for it. Of course not, Elliot said smoothly. But now you benefit from it. Ava leaned forward. Say what you mean. Elliot nodded approvingly. People like us, he said, prefer the world predictable, controlled. When independent power structures start protecting civilians, it disrupts things. So this is about control, Ava said. Elliot smiled. It always is. He slid an envelope across the table. Inside, cashed out a lot of it. Asked him to leave, Elliot said. Publicly. One statement. That's all. Ava didn't touch the envelope. And if I don't? Elliot's smile faded just enough to notice. Then protection becomes pressure, he said. Jobs get complicated. Rent rises. Accidents happen. Ava's hands clenched. You think money buys silence, she said. It doesn't. Elliot leaned back. You think kindness buys loyalty, he replied. It doesn't. Ava stood. Then you don't understand either of us, she said. Elliot's eyes hardened. Think carefully, he warned. You're a symbol now. Ava looked him straight in the eye. Then watch what symbols do when they're done being scared. She walked out that night. The engines returned. Not dozens. Hundreds. They didn't flood the street. They lined the edges of the neighborhood. Quiet, visible, undeniable. Marcus stood beside Ava on her porch. You sure? He asked one last time. She nodded. I won't trade safety for silence, she said. Not mine. Not anyone else's. Marcus raised his hand. Lights flicked on across the block. Neighbors stepped out. Phones came up. Whispers turned into awareness. Ava stepped forward. I didn't ask for protection, she said loudly. But I won't reject it to make bullies comfortable. Her voice didn't shake. I helped someone because it was right, she continued. If that scares people who profit from fear, good. Silence followed. Then applause from neighbors, from porches, from people who've been quiet too long. Marcus nodded once. Price paid, he said. Ava felt it then. The fear low-ausening. The power shifting. The road doesn't demand payment in money. IT demands choice. And Ava had made hers. Backhand index pointing right, subscribe to Bikershype for stories where courage changes the road. Thumbs up, like, and share this video with your friends. This message deserves to travel. Red heart if you love Hell's Angel stories. Share this video and help us complete our 1,000 subscribers target. Fire now, prove your love. The fallout, the morning after Ava spoke, the neighborhood woke up different. Not louder, not safer, braver. People stood on porches longer than usual. Curtains stayed open. Conversations lingered instead of cutting short when someone unfamiliar walked by. Fear had been replaced by something unfamiliar but powerful, awareness. Ava felt it as soon as she stepped outside. The air didn't press down on her chest the way it had before. She still noticed the bikes at the edges of the streets, still sensed a watchful presence, but now it felt shared. Not just hers, everyone's. She walked to her car, angel pin gleaming in the sunlight, and a neighbor she barely knew. Mrs. Alvarez from 3 houses down called out, "Thank you," the woman said quietly. Ava paused. "For what?" she asked. "For not backing down." Mrs. Alvarez replied, "Some of us forgot we could stand up too." Ava nodded, throat tight, and drove to work. The fallout didn't come immediately. That's how pressure works. IT waits at the nursing home. Ava was pulled into the administrator's office before her shift even began. A man she'd never seen sat beside the administrator. Dark suit, polite smile, eyes that didn't match it. "We're restructuring," the administrator said nervously. "Budget concerns." Ava understood instantly. "Elliot, we're reducing hours," the man added smoothly. "Nothing personal." Ava inhaled slowly. "How many?" she asked. "Half," the administrator whispered, ashamed. Ava nodded. "I'll make it work," she said. She stood to leave. The man cleared his throat. "You don't have to," he said. "Things could change." Ava met his eyes. "Not for me," she replied. She walked out by noon. Marcus knew. "So begins," he said over the phone. Ava leaned against her car, exhaustion heavy in her bones. "I don't regret it," she said. "But I didn't realize how fast it would hit." Marcus's voice softened. "They count on that," he said. "Attrition. Quiet pressure." Ava stared at the sky. "What happens now?" Marcus paused. "Now we see who the community really belongs to." The answer came faster than anyone expected that evening, as Ava sat on her couch staring at a spreadsheet she didn't understand. Numbers that no longer added up. There was a knock at her door point, 3 short taps. She opened it cautiously. Mrs. Alvarez stood there, along with Mr. Collins, the teenage boy from the corner house, and a woman Ava recognized from the bus stop. Mrs. Alvarez held out an envelope. "We talked," she said. "All of us." Ava hesitated. Inside the envelope was cash. Not a lot. "Enough?" "I can't," Ava began. "You can," Mr. Collins interrupted gently. "Because next week it might be one of us." The teenage boy shifted awkwardly. "My uncle fixes cars," he said. "Says he'll tune yours for free." The woman from the bus stop smiled. "I work at the cafe on 9th, she added. "If you want extra hours, they're yours." Ava felt tears spill freely now. This wasn't charity. This was community. Behind them, Reed stood at the end of the sidewalk, arms crossed, not interfering, just watching, proud. Elliot didn't like losing control point 2 days later. The dark sedan returned, but this time, it didn't stop at Ava's house that IT circled. Slowly. Phones came out. People recorded. When the car paused near the renovated house across the street, a garage door rolled up. Inside, nothing threatening. Just bikes. Clean. Legal. Documented. And men who didn't flinch. The sedan left. IT didn't come back. The news didn't cover it. But the road did. Word spread. Not about Ava. About what happened because of her, the waitress refusing to look away at a mechanic stepping in at a block that chose not to be quiet anymore. Reed sat beside Ava one night on her porch, both of them watching the streetlights flicker on. "You changed the balance," he said. "I didn't mean to." Ava replied. He smiled. "No one ever does." She looked at him. "What happens when they try again?" Reed leaned back. "Then they'll have to face more than bikes," he said. "They'll face people who remember how it felt to stand up." Ava nodded slowly. For the first time, she understood. The price wasn't money. The price was courage, and had multiplied. Backhand index pointing right, subscribe to Bikershype for stories where real courage changes lives. Thumbs up, like, and share this video with your friends. This road deserves witnesses. Red Heart, if you love Hell's Angel stories, share this video and help us complete our 1,000 subscribers target. Fire now, prove your love. The Mirror, the call came just after sunset. Ava was washing dishes, sleeves rolled up, when her phone buzzed on the counter. Unknown number. Again, she wiped her hands and answered. Ava, a woman's voice said. Calm, familiar in a way that made Ava's chest tighten. It's Danielle. Ava closed her eyes, her sister. They hadn't spoken in 3 years. What do you want? Ava asked quietly. Danielle sighed. I saw the videos. The street, the bikes, the speeches. Ava felt the old ache rise. The years of silence, the fights that never healed. I didn't ask for any of this, Ava said. I know. Danielle replied. That's why I'm calling. There was a pause. I need to see you. Danielle arrived an hour later, and no drama. No shouting. Just her standing on the porch, hands in her jacket pockets, eyes tired. You look different, Danielle said as Ava opened the door. So do you, Ava replied. They sat across from each other at the kitchen table. The same table where Ava had cried over the note, where Marcus had told his story. Danielle glanced at the angel pin clipped to Ava's jacket. So it's true, she said. They're really protecting you. Ava tilted her head. Is that why you're here? Danielle nodded slowly. I'm scared, she admitted. Not of them. Of what's happening. Ava folded her hands. Tell me. Danielle took a breath. The company I work for, she said. They're connected to Elliot, to the people pressuring you. Ava's stomach tightened. They want you quiet, Danielle continued. But more than that, they want you isolated. Ava's voice was steady. They already tried. Danielle's eyes filled. I left because I thought staying quiet would keep me safe, she whispered. I thought walking away was strength. She looked up at Ava. But watching you, I realized something. What? Ava asked. Danielle swallowed. Silence didn't protect me, she said. It just made me smaller. The words hung between them. Ava stood and walked to the window. Down the street, a single motorcycle idled briefly, then went quiet. You didn't come to warn me, Ava said softly. You came because you want out. Danielle nodded. I don't want to live like that anymore. Ava turned back to her sister. Then stay, she said simply. Danielle blinked. You mean? I mean stay. Ava repeated. Not hide, not run. Stay and choose. Tears spilled down Danielle's cheeks. I don't know if I'm brave enough. Ava reached across the table and took her hand. I wasn't either, she said, until I was. The fallout accelerated after that. Danielle quit her job the next morning, walked out without signing the silence agreement they slid across her desk. By evening, Elliot called Ava again. This time his voice wasn't smooth. You're escalating, he said sharply. Ava smiled faintly. No, she replied. I'm reflecting. Your sister made a mistake. Elliot snapped. Ava's tone hardened. She made a choice. The line went dead. That night, something strange happened. Neighbors gathered, not for a protest, for dinner. Folding tables appeared on the street. Someone grilled. Someone else brought music. Laughter filled the air. Bikers stood back, not as guards, but guests. Marcus watched from the edge of the block, arms folded, eyes thoughtful. Reed leaned against his bike beside Ava. They didn't expect this, he said. Ava looked around. At Danielle laughing with Mrs. Alvarez, at kids running between tables, at a block that refused to be divided. They never do, Ava replied. Later, when the street quieted and the dishes were packed away, Danielle sat beside Ava on the porch steps. I used to think strength meant leaving, Danielle said. Now I think it means staying visible. Ava nodded. The mirror scares people, she said. They don't like seeing themselves clearly. Danielle smiled through tears. Thank you for holding it up. Ava clipped the angel pin off her jacket and pressed it into Danielle's hand. For now, she said. You'll give it back when you're ready. Danielle closed her fingers around it. I will. Across the street, a bike engine turned over, then shut off, watching, waiting. The road had a way of bringing people back to themselves, and the people who tried to control it. They were running out of places to hide. Backhand Index Point Right subscribe to Bikershype for stories where courage brings families back together. Thumbs up, like, and share this video with your friends. These moments matter. Red Heart if you love Hell's Angel stories. Share this video and help us complete our 1,000 subscribers target. Fire now, prove your love. The last test, the road always takes something before it gives anything back. Ava learned that on the night the power went out. IT happened just after 11 p.m., no warning, no flicker. 1 second the streetlights glowed. The next they were gone, plunging the block into darkness, so complete it felt deliberate. Danielle sat up on the couch. "That's not normal," she whispered. Ava was already at the window. Down the street, the renovated house across from them went dark too, but not completely. A single generator light clicked on inside the garage, faint but steady. Prepared, Ava's phone vibrated in her hand. Read. Stay inside. Lock everything. Before she could reply, another message came through. Unknown number. Elliot. Last chance. Ava exhaled slowly as though this was it. The knock came 5 minutes later. Not on her door, on the neighbor's, a Mrs. Alvarez. Ava's heart slammed against her ribs. She grabbed her jacket and moved before Danielle could stop her. "Ava, don't." Danielle pleaded. "I have to," Ava said, already unlocking the door. The street was dark, but not empty. Shapes moved at the edges, men positioned quietly, deliberately, not aggressive, ready. Ava crossed the street quickly and reached Mrs. Alvarez's porch just as the older woman cracked her door open. 2 men stood there. Same build, same cold posture as the ones of the sedan nights earlier. "We're just asking questions," one said smoothly. Ava stepped forward in the light of Mrs. Alvarez's porch bulb. "Then ask me," Ava said. The men turned. Recognition flickered across their faces. "This doesn't concern you," the other man said. "It concerns my street," Ava replied. Her voice didn't shake. "So yes, it concerns me." One man smirked. "You've gotten brave." Ava nodded. Bravery is contagious. Behind her, a low rumble rolled through the darkness. Not loud. Controlled. Motorcycles point where the man glanced over his shoulder. "Call them off," he said sharply. "Now!" Ava shook her head. "They're not here for you," she said. "They're here for us." The men exchanged a look. "This ends tonight," one said, "with you stepping away." Ava took a breath. "No," she said simply, and for the first time, she saw uncertainty crack through their confidence, a voice carried from the darkness. Conversation's over. Marcus stepped into the porch light. Not alone. Neighbors stood behind him, men, women, kids holding phones, flashlights. Anything that made them visible, witnesses. The men stiffened. "You don't have jurisdiction," one snapped. Marcus tilted his head. "This isn't jurisdiction," he said. "This is a neighborhood." One of the men reached into his jacket. Every bike engine turned on at once. Not revving. Warning. The man froze. Marcus raised a hand. Engines went silent again. "You leave?" Marcus said calmly. "And you don't come back." Not to her. Not to any of them. A long pause. Then the men stepped back. Slowly. They walked off the porch and disappeared into the dark, swallowed by the night they tried to control. The power came back on 30 seconds later. Streetlights blinked alive. Normality returned, but something else stayed. Strength. Ava stood there, shaking now, not from fear, but released at Mrs. Alvarez hugged her tightly. "Thank you," the woman whispered. Ava shook her head. "We did this together." Marcus approached Ava. "That was the last test," he said quietly. Ava met his eyes, and Marcus smiled. "Real this time. You passed." Across the street, Reed leaned against his bike, helmet off, watching her like he had that first night. Only now, there was no worry in his eyes, just respect. Ava looked around the street, her street. The road had demanded its answer, and it had been given. Together. Backhand Index Pointing Right subscribe to Bikershype for stories where communities rise together. Thumbs up, like, and share this video with your friends. This road needs witnesses. Red Heart if you love Hell's Angel stories. Share this video and help us complete our 1,000 subscribers target. Fire now, prove your love. The road remembers. The road didn't celebrate victories. IT absorbed them. That was the first thing Marcus told Ava the morning after the power outage. They stood on her porch as the sun climbed slowly over the rooftops. painting the street in soft gold. The neighborhood looked the same houses, same cracked sidewalks, but something underneath it shifted permanently. Peace doesn't announce itself, IT settles. They won't be back, Marcus said, sipping coffee from a chipped mug one of the neighbors had handed him. Not here. Not to you. Ava leaned against the railing, angel pin warm in her palm. How do you know? She asked. Marcus smiled faintly. Because they came for silence, he said, and found witnesses. The bikes began leaving that afternoon, not all at once, one by one, at NO engines revving. No dramatic goodbyes, just nods, handshakes, quiet respect. Reed was the last to stay. He helped Mrs. Alvarez fix a broken fence. He showed the kids how to check tire pressure. He drank coffee on Ava's porch like it had always been his place too. When the sun started to dip, Ava knew. This is it, isn't it? She asked. Reed nodded. The road keeps moving, he said, but it doesn't forget. He reached into his jacket and pulled out something wrapped in cloth. Inside was a receipt from the gas station. The original one, the ink on the back had faded slightly, but the words were still there. Angel never forgets a kindness. Reed handed it to her. This belongs with you now, he said. Ava swallowed. I didn't change the world, she said quietly. Reed smiled. No, he agreed. You changed a moment. He gestured down the street. Kids laughing, neighbors talking, doors left open just a little longer than before. And moments, he said, are how worlds change. That night, Ava and Danielle sat on the porch steps together. The angel pin rested between them. I'm scared it'll fade, Danielle admitted. That once the bikes are gone, things will go back. Ava shook her head. They won't, she said, because we didn't borrow courage. She picked up the pin and clipped it back onto her jacket. We learned it. Danielle smiled softly. I used to think strength meant being loud, she said, or powerful. Ava looked out at the street. I think it means being kind when it costs you, she replied, and standing when it would be easier to sit. Across the street, the renovated house lights went out for the first time in weeks. Empty again, but not abandoned. Weeks passed. Life adjusted. Ava found more hours at the cafe. Danielle started classes at the community college. The nursing home quietly restored Ava's shifts when budget concerns mysteriously resolved themselves and apologies were given. None were needed. Every once in a while, a motorcycle would pass through the neighborhood, slow, respectful. Sometimes the rider would nod. Sometimes it wouldn't stop, but Ava always felt it. The road remembering point one evening, months later, Ava stopped at the same gas station. Same pump, same flickering neon. She smiled at memory and reached into her purse. Behind her, a car pulled up. A young man stepped out, checking his wallet nervously. Hey, he called out hesitantly. You wouldn't happen to... Ava didn't hesitate. She stopped her pump. Yeah, she said. I got you. The young man stared. You sure? Ava smiled. I am. As she handed him the receipt, she wrote something on the back. Not the same words. New ones. Pass it on. She drove home under a sky full of stars, heart light, because the road doesn't care who you are, IT cares what you do, and always remembers. Backhand Index Point Right subscribe to Bikershype for powerful biker stories that hit the soul. Thumbs up like this video and share it with your friends. Real stories deserve real support. Red Heart if you love Hell's Angels. Style biker stories. Share this video and help us complete our 1,000 subscribers target. Fire now, prove your love. Speech balloon comment your name below. We may use it for a character in our next biker story.